Hey guys, how are we? So, workout has been done. Coffee has been drunk. I've showered, and yeah, basically, I'll have to be heading to work soon. But I wanted to have a little catch up and chit chat with you guys. So, I'm gonna keep this one really short. And to be honest, I'm not even really coming to any sort of conclusion here. It's just more to open up the conversation because it's something that I'm seeing everywhere on social media. And I actually, not that long ago, did a podcast episode on something similar. And I recently attached my podcast episodes to my YouTube. And this certain one was getting a few comments on it. And yeah, the comments were just making me even more interested and want to speak about this conversation, this topic even more. And basically, the podcast episode I'm referring to was called, I believe it was Why Are Men Still Doing This? Something like that. And it was basically just about men doing certain things that make women feel uncomfortable. And then I told a certain story of one of the times I've experienced this. And it wasn't like slagging or getting at any gender or person. It was just more out of curiosity and again wanting to open up the conversation, which is why I'm doing this episode, because I want to open up the conversation again. And I was basically sharing a story. There's been a few different stories that I could share, but I just shared one in particular about a time I was down at the beach and I decided to go to a slightly more isolated area because it was really busy this day and I just wanted to kind of be away from like a crowd of people. And I was just sunbathing and relaxing, and then out of nowhere some guy came and started chatting to me, but it was just the whole body language, and they say you can tell a lot by someone's body language. The whole body language, the things he was saying, like, to me wasn't striking like normal friendly conversation. It was very uncomfortable. And I obviously didn't know this person at all. And at first I genuinely just thought it could just be someone trying to, start a conversation and just trying to, I don't know, get my number or something like that, which is totally normal. Like, I'm all for that. I actually genuinely love it when people meet in that kind of setting rather than like the dating apps and stuff. I think it's super nice, but this was different. And the more things he started saying, the more I started realizing this was a little bit different. It wasn't really like your normal interaction. It was giving red flags. I hate to use that term, but yeah. And then he like randomly, he's seen my tub of sun cream and then randomly asked me if I would like him to put some sun cream on me, and I obviously said no, it's okay. Which is when, if that had been that's fine, maybe he did just want to help protect my skin. But he then asked if I was shy because I'd turned that down, and it just kind of went from there. And then he started asking if I was on my own there and if people were gonna come up and if I was waiting for like friends and stuff, which those type of questions are, started from a stranger you don't know who's come out of nowhere. Obviously it's gonna make you feel a bit uncomfortable and wonder like what his intentions are. So yeah, I was just sharing that story and it was just interesting the feedback I get from it because, some people, men and women are like, yes, that is strange. It's the right thing to do is to just leave that situation. But then there's other people saying, it's a way of men like asserting their like dominance, and that's how men, attract women, and that's normal, that is just how it is. And it's so hard to kind of know like what is overstepping the line when it comes to these types of things. And it can be, you know, roles can be reversed. Like it can be the woman making the man feel uncomfortable as well. So this isn't just about men. I think it happens a lot more this way around, and it always has. But it can definitely be the other way around. Like, I'm not even just saying that because I feel like I just have to say that to clear the air. I do believe it can definitely be the other way around, but I do find men tend to make women feel uncomfortable a little bit more often, and to like the point where it can be scary. And just, yeah. So I guess I wanted to make this video to bring up that podcast episode again, since it was getting some attraction. And I just want to genuinely ask, like, what is the line? Like, what is the line that, let's talk about it in this case, that men overstep, which then makes a woman feel uncomfortable, rather than just doing what he can to try and get a girl and date a girl and etc, etc. I think there's just so much stuff that's coming out on social media these days, and you have like the one side that's basically like a woman looking into things a little bit too much that men are doing. You know, that you've probably all seen it, like the videos of girls in the gym and they're like recording like their workout, and there's like some random guy like looking around in the background, and then they clock this girl, and then the girl's like, oh my god, creeps looking at me. Like, you've got that side of it, which is just like a poor guy just trying to work out, which I just think is just awful that women do that, because it's just really then making people overlook when there really is a creep you know, harassing someone. So you've got like that side of it. There's just a lot going around on social media these days that makes it all very confusing for women, like to know like what is a guy maybe just being friendly, or what is a guy completely overstepping the line. And that might just sound really naive and stupid to say, but I think, like, I believe that is true. Like, if I think back, like, I remember when I was around 18 and I was going out a lot back at home, and like I'd be in clubs and I'd just be like walking through the crowd to like get a drink or whatever. And this happened on many occasions. Like, guys would just literally just grab my bum and squeeze it and then like look away. And I remember thinking, like, this is pissing me off. Like, you can't just touch me if you don't know me. And I remember I'd think that, but in my head I wouldn't want to like make a scene, and I would like think, genuinely I'd think, oh well, that's like normal behavior, like, you know, I'm wearing this dress or these shorts, like whatever, that's just a thing. Like, and I remember in my head I'd be really mad that people would think they could just do that, but like I would like act like I found it funny. And I remember I'd kind of like laugh and like look around as if to be like, oh, who did that? And in my head I'm thinking like, fuck off. But like it was just like this thing that I remember that stage, like it just like, it was something like you just don't make a big deal about that, like you just let it go. Like if you were to make a big deal about it, it'd be like, oh well, he was just messing. Like it was like, I remember it was that extreme, and now it's gone to the other extreme, and it's like you just don't know how to act anymore. Like you don't know when a guy is just like asserting his dominance and trying to stand out to get you, because apparently that's what they have to do these days, or if it's just like harassment. Like, what is the line, guys? It's just, yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, I've got no real conclusion to this. It's just a topic I want to open. Like, what is the line? Like, what is just messing? What is yeah, crossing the line? Another story, like I remember we were out in we were on a night out in Bali, and we'd just come from a beach club. And you guys, if you've been to Bali, you know what it's like you do walk around in your bikini most of the time with like a throw on. and we'd just come from a beach party, so we were in like swimwear. So I was wearing a bikini and then a little like sarong thing thrown around me, and we went into this club after. I think I even did have like a white top over the bikini, and then we were just like dancing and having a really good time. And there was this other group of boys that were like super drunk, but we were getting along well. Like we were dancing with them and it was all just like really fun. And then I remember I like was taking a picture of something like that. And I was like bent over because I was taking a picture of something that was like on a lower level. And as I did that, one of the guys from the group just full blown went like that, bang, on my bum, full blown slap my bum. But I mean, like, it wasn't just like a little slap as he was like walking by, it was full blown slap. And the sound was like so loud to the point where like everyone kind of just like stopped and looked for a second. And I remember just feeling like so, my first like feeling was just like I was just embarrassed, like, and straight away I thought I can't make a reaction because people are just gonna say, well, I'm wearing a bikini and a sarong, so, and I was bent over, so it was like asking for it kind of thing. And I just remember feeling like embarrassed, like I just didn't want to make a scene, I just didn't want it to escalate in that moment. And it wasn't like, just like I said, it wasn't just like a little slap, it was full blown, like, and I remember thinking like if he had done that to my face, I think everyone would have jumped in and been like, you literally just hit a girl. But because it was on my bum, it was almost like people were like, oh, like kind of like finding it funny, I guess, like just like, oh, he's just drunk, like whatever. And it was, yeah, I just remember feeling like embarrassed more than anything because everyone was looking. And then obviously then my boyfriend wasn't happy about it, confronted him, but then his mates were like I don't know, like apologizing on his behalf. They were like, he's so drunk, we're so sorry, like we don't want this to escalate, like, well, come on, we'll buy you drinks. And his mates obviously realized like he shouldn't have done that, and like, yeah, tried to apologize by getting us drinks and stuff. And then it was just kind of shaken off. But we always think back to that and we're like, if that was my face, it would have been a totally different story, but because it was my bum, it was like more acceptable. But it was like a full blown slap. I'm sure I had like a hand mark. But yeah, things like that. And I just remember just like, again, just shaking off, whatever kind of thing. And I'm still just like, whatever. Like, I think a lot of girls maybe we're naive to the fact that like that's not okay. It's like we know it's not okay, but we like let it slide, because at the same time, like, I love men, I love guys, I have, you know, a brother, my dad, a boyfriend, like, and yeah, I always try and see the best. But it's kind of like I said, it's that question, like, when is it crossing the line? Because there's so many different views that men and women have on this, and I feel like we all have a different like tolerance level to it, like with what's acceptable. But yeah, I just wanted to open it up again. Like I said, that podcast, more people started listening to it and comments on it, which thank you so much. I absolutely love it. That's why I do podcast episodes and little chats like this, because I want to have the conversation, I want to open it. I think it's important to talk about. And with this point, I could go down so many different routes, which is all over the internet at the minute. But I just want to leave this one, like with like dating and stuff, I mean, and that kind of stuff, like men, women, dating, what's going on at the minute, which I'm sure I will do an episode on very soon. It's something I've been wanting to talk about. But yeah, I just genuinely was reading the comments on my podcast and I was asking like guys I actually know, like, what do you think about this? When is the line? Is this normal? Like, you know, do men do this to make women feel uncomfortable, or is it genuinely just to try and get their attention and ask them out? Like, what is this about? Like, when is it crossing the line? Are we being too emotional these days, sensitive? I don't know. Like I said, as a whole, I'm one of those people that I will mainly just brush it off and shake it off. But again, is that adding to the problem? Should we be speaking up when these things happen? I don't know, I'm asking you guys. But yeah, I just really wanted to open this up, and I hope you guys enjoy, and yeah, I'm really interested to know what you guys have to say. So I will leave this one here. I wanted to keep this nice and short, and I will speak to you all soon.